was long. It was cool.
So Camden is a borough in northwest London and is very, very close to the centre of London. But despite the area
Okay, hold on. Damn, bro, you saying that like niggas is from over there? Hold on.
being in northwest London.
Okay, so Camden is in northwest London. Right here. It looked like it's almost in the heart.
And is very, very close to the centre of London. But despite the area being so close to the rich centre of the capital, in the last few years, the war in the area has been going brazy. So historically, unlike neighbouring
North Face, baby.
areas like Islington and Brent,
Hold on. Places like Islington and what?
the war in the area has been going brazy. So historically, unlike neighbouring areas like
Islington
and Brent,
and Brent. Hope I said that right. I don't want to put the closed caption in, but I might have to. Let me see.
the war in the area has been going brazy. So historically, unlike neighbouring areas like Islington and Brent,
Yep, it was Brent. Huh. Alright, so I was right.
Camden's beef situation hasn't been as active as others, but this all changed around 2016 when a man from Camden called Merce had his watch stolen from another man from another area in Camden. After this, there was some back and
Bruh, what's his name? Bruh, I'm gonna have to put closed caption on. I can't hear accents heavy.
Camden called Merce had his watch stolen from another man from another area in Camden. After this, there was some back and forth, which resulted in a big rivalry in the borough, literally between groups of kids that grew up together.
No way this started over. No way this didn't all start over that. There has to be more than just that. I don't believe that. Ain't no way in hell there's a war going on between Active Gang and 51st Street over a watch. Nah. It had to be more than just a watch.
One side being gangs built up from a few estates in Camden, which were the Peckwater gang from the Peckwater.
Man, Peckwater. I done heard your name in so many diss tracks, no disrespect. It's not even funny. They do not fuck with Peckwater, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, like, but it is what it is. I gotta hear their music too. I gotta check them out.
Estate, the QC gang, which were from a road in Camden called
The QC gang. See, I never heard of that.
Queen's Crescent, and Cumber, which is a gang made up from an estate called Regent's Park in Cumberland Market. They linked up together and called themselves 51st, due to their postcodes being in NW1 and NW5, which is where the 5 and the 1 come from. And from the other side of the feud, we have a gang called Active Gang, which some people may know from their songs, and they're from the
Yeah, see, we know them. See, he said then there's the other guys, Active Gang, where everybody probably knows them from their songs. Yeah, man. From the Beta UK, man. The Active Gang got some hits, man. I ain't gonna lie. They clowning.
Eagle Grove Estate in Camden. An Active Gang are affiliated with another gang called CT1 and NRB, which they all linked up and called themselves 71st.
Okay, so Active Gang, NRB, and CT. What is it? CTI, 71st Street. Okay.
And just like that, the war was now on between 51st and 71st over this watch being stolen. So Camden is actually home to a...
Is it really over a watch being stolen? Let me know in the comment section. Is it really all of this started because a watch got stolen? Come on, bro. I don't believe that. Has to be more to that. Has to be.
Big Somalian community, with a big portion of them residing in Eagle Grove, which is the territory of the 71st gang. Such a big community that the majority of 71st members are actually Somalian. And if you watch one of my previous videos on Mali Strip, Somalian people are people you don't want to be messing with, which you'll understand more in this video. And this beef was on go from early. In 2017, 2 members of the AG gang, which represent 71st, executed a triple shooting on
3 men treated in hospital for bullet wounds after reported of content shooting. Ooh, California hot boys.
3 51st members. 2 of the members ran to a nearby hospital, but while hospital staff was treating the 2 members, they also called police to the hospital to investigate the situation. Once the 2 realized the police was called, they didn't even care about their treatment anymore, and attempted to run out of the hospital while still having bullet wounds lodged in them. But the police ended up detaining them and arresting them after a struggle between the both. The reason they wanted to run was because all 3 members are actually actually wanted for suspicion of grievous bodily harm, which all three were eventually arrested for. Now of course, 51st weren't happy about this triple shooting, and they were trying to get it back in blood. So they went lurking on the Agar Grove estate, and shot a rival in the face with a shotgun. The rival actually managed to survive and make his own way back to hospital.
Damn, he got shot in his face with a shotgun, and he was still managed to stay alive and make it to the hospital. Are you crazy? What the fuck?
Arrested for. Now of course, 51st weren't happy about this triple shooting, and they were trying to get it back in blood. So they went lurking on the Agar Grove estate, and shot a rival in the face with a shotgun. The rival actually managed to survive and make his own way back to hospital. But this beef really kicked off in a situation that wasn't even linked to both of the gangs. So on February 2017, a 16-year-old girl had an Airbnb party in Kensington, West London. You know those type of parties where a girl invites 7 different types of gangs and asks people to leave their beef out?
That's one of them girls that got that bag, you feel me? She got the bag, her family rich. You feel me? She probably went to school with some of them. You feel me? It's gonna be a fat party. Like that one movie. I can't think of the movie. I think it's called like Party something. It was like when that kid threw that big ass party. When a girl, I remember girls that throw a party like that. You know it's gonna be fat, big. I'm talking about over 100 people finna show up. It's gonna be cracking. But at the same time, you got the people that come looking for a problem or trying to catch their ops or some shit like that. So sometimes it usually end bad, with shootings and shit like that.
At home. Yeah, one of those. So at this party, there were people from all over London there, but a few uninvited guests tried to pull up to the party. One of these people being the boy from 51st called Dotty and his friend, who pulled up to the party with a gun and knife looking for trouble. But the night turned left for Dotty and his friend, and ended up with Dotty being chased down by 20 young boys. And when the boys caught up to him, they stabbed him 13 times altogether.
Damn, that nigga's stupid as fuck. Why would you do that? Soon as I would've, bruh, soon as I would've pulled up there and they said I couldn't go, I would've just left, bruh. Fuck it. You feel me? But it's a fight another day. He went up there trying to flex, thinking he was gonna just walk up in there, you feel me, him and his partner, and be like, yeah, nigga, we here. And they packed his ass out.
People from all over London there, but a few uninvited guests tried to pull up to the party. One of these people being the boy from 51st called Dotty and his friend, who pulled up to the party with a gun and knife looking for trouble. But the night turned left for Dotty and his friend, and ended up with Dotty being chased down by 20 young boys. And when the boys caught up to him, they stabbed him 13 times altogether, which actually resulted in Dotty dying, which 4 16-year-old boys from Hackney.
Damn. That was just an all around bad night. Chat, that is just an all around bad night. They went up there trying to get into a party. I bet you dude never would have thought that they would have chased him down. These kids that chased him down never would have thought they was gonna actually kill him. This was all in the heat of the moment. It's crazy, man. Everybody loses. Everybody loses in this situation, bro.
And Tottenham were sentenced and convicted for. So 51st were mad about this situation, obviously, that their member Dotty was just stabbed to death. So they were out trying to get revenge. So they went out for revenge in a stolen BMW and travelled all the way from Camden, northwest London, to Hackney in East London, and then to Tottenham in North London, because that's where the people who killed Dotty were from. But they ended up finding no one from both areas. But they weren't trying to go home without spilling some blood first. So 51st went all the way back to Camden to look for 71st members, and found an affiliate member of 71st called AK, and killed him. But they weren't done there. They were riding for a whole another 2 hours looking for more 71st members, and found a 71st member called Mitch's little brother. Mitch's little brother attempted to run into a cab and begged the driver to drive him to safety, but the driver refused to move, and he was dragged out the cab and stabbed to death by 51st members.
Damn, that cab is cold, bruh. That cab is cold. That cab driver is cold as fuck. How you not gonna drive, bro, to safety? And you see them coming to try to kill him, bro. Damn, bro, you cold. That's cold, bro. Damn.
all within 2 hours of their first murder they committed that night, and 6 members were sentenced to life for these murders. Then on September 4th, 2017, a member from...
He said, how many 6 members were sentenced to life for these murders? Do you hear this shit?
2 hours of their first murder they committed that night, and 6 members were sentenced to life for these murders. Then on September 4th...
So, they killed 2 people in a time frame of probably like within 8 hours of like they killed one person and then like 3-4 hours later they probably killed someone else. And 6 people got life for that. Damn, bruh. Like, come on, man. What's up, Lena? How you doing? We got a lot of videos. I know. I've been lacking. I've just been surviving though. But yeah, this is some crazy shit.
2017, a member from 51st called Flips and the older brother of the second boy who died that night called Mitch bumped into each other on Hampstead Road in Camden and started getting into a little altercation, which ended with Flips stabbing Mitch in his arm, neck and back, leaving the knife lodged into Mitch's bones and murdering him. An undercover police...
This shit is crazy. This shit is unbelievable, but I ain't even gonna lie to you.
policeman just happened to witness this whole situation and ran down Phillips and arrested him. And now Phillips is serving 17 years to life for this murder. After this, the beef in Camden went under some serious investigation by police, and members from all sides started to get taken down for conspiracies, firearms and drug charges. And the beef started to die down a bit. But then 2019 hit, and quite a lot of the members that were locked up started to come out. And taking in consideration that 51st members, just before everyone started going to prison, had killed 3 71st members. 71st members started coming out of prison on some demon time, and were most definitely looking for revenge with no warnings. The first signs that 71st was really back was on a cold Tuesday in February. 1 AM in the morning, a 51st member called G Squeeze was walking past the Sainsbury's in Camden when a 4x4 crashed.
Came to stabbing, teen left life-changing injuries after being run down with for a stabbing in the head. Damn. Do you see this shit? See, act the game. They gotta get their revenge, bro. This shit is crazy. I didn't even realize it was funking this hard. And I'm still shocked it started over a dude getting his watch stolen.
Crashed into him, and several 71st members jumped out on him like a pack of wolves, stabbing him repeatedly in his head and body, leaving him literally paralysed and not being able to walk. But that wasn't enough for 71st members. They wanted someone dead for their friends. So on April 1st, 2019, a suspected member of 51st called C Miz and his cousin were walking down Grafton Road in Gospel Oak, Camden, when 4 71st members jumped out a stolen black car and started chasing them. C Miz and his cousin split up, but unfortunately the men who jumped out the car locked onto C Miz, and C Miz ended up dropping to the ground when the 71st member started to stab him repeatedly with machetes and then
with machetes. Ooh. Ooh. GBG. Ooh. Come on, man. You can't be walking, bro, when you in funk, man. You can't be walking around.
Run from the scene. After this murder, 71st members made a song called Congo, and the reason why they
made a song called Congo on top of that. These niggas is clowning.
Called it Congo is because C Miz was actually a refugee from Congo after him and his family fled the war from over there. And members repeatedly in their songs say that they get their weed from Congo, not Cali. Pretty much.
They pretty much dissing them, like kind of like how people be saying they smoking on Tuka. They smoking on Tuka. They trying to do the same thing with him. That's interesting. That's cold. That's cold.
Over there. And members repeatedly in their songs say that they get their weed from Congo, not Cali. Pretty much just trying to say that they're smoking on C Miz. And as I said before, the majority of these 71st members are Somalian. So after all this, there was news going about in Camden that 51st members were out on the lurk, and any Somalian they see they're killing.
Heard some really strong intelligence that there is going to be revenge for Calvin's killing, and his friends have literally said they are going to go out and kill any Somali in retaliation. So I just want to make that really clear. This is from a young Somali woman in Camden who's 24 years old, and basically we strongly suspect they're going to go out tonight and kill a Somali.
Which was probably a bit of a stretch. But on the other hand, 71st members kept saying that they're warring with Jalirs, which is basically the Somalian word for West African people. Because you have to remember, despite Somalians being dark-skinned and African, a lot of Somalians don't really see themselves the same as other black people. So this was
That's true. What you just said, a lot of Somalians don't see themselves as other black people. That's true.
kind of turned into a race war between Somalian and black people in Camden, which is just all wrong for so many reasons.
Right. 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 That's why in America we got that light skin, dark skin shit. And that shit's, I mean, it's for entertainment, but overall it's kind of corny because it turns black against black. And that's never cool. Back when hold on, I'm trying to get this. There we go. Oh, all right. Back when I was in the little back when they had slavery and stuff, they would put the light-skinned slaves inside the house, and then the dark-skinned slaves were in the field. It's sad that we, you know, still to this day still do that comparison in America. It's not cool to turn blacks against each other. We all black. You feel me? And it's sad to hear that it's going on over there in the United Kingdom, bro. For real. Just imagine if we was united like how we was for George Floyd. You know, if we was all united like that, but all the time. We always stick together. We always looked out for one of each other. Man, we'll be a fucking issue.
But 71st weren't happy enough with the killing of C. Miz. They wanted to spill more blood. So August 12, 2019, 6 members started circling the estates of 51st members in a stolen Ford Fiesta and a stolen Seat. When they spotted 16-year-old culprit and other members,
Ooh, 16-year-old. That's a kid. It's a child. He's still in high school, bruh. That's a man.
coming out of a restaurant around 10:30 p.m. Culprit and other members ran to a nearby set of blocks near Euston Road, but 71st members found them later on that night, and 3 members jumped out and chased them down, catching up to the 16-year-old 51st member called Culprit. Culprit was running for his life and literally screaming for help, banging on neighbors' doors to let him in so he could escape his attackers. But when the 71st members caught up to him, 2 71st members held him, while a 3rd member repeatedly pushed a 1-foot-long.
Oh my god. Damn. That nigga was, hey, not to be funny, because he actually died, rest in peace. But he was knocking on people's doors like, help me. Would you open the door for him? Keep it real. Look at that knife, bro. That shit is huge. And they said they held him down, like they held him, and then they cut him. So it wasn't like, you know, that's actor getting cold for that.
A zombie killing knife through his chest while it was coming out of his back. And when the 71st members were done, the killers were said to be running away after, laughing hysterically, which is what bystanders said. And Culprit, he was just any normal kid from London. He was talented at football and even had trials for Southampton Football Club, but started getting involved in a local gang and brushed aside his football. And unfortunately,
Damn, you can make a movie about him. They should make a movie. Exactly. I respect that. I want to brief for no reason. I respect that. You don't want to bring no under. You like, hey, I said this. I sent the tweet out. Rule number 11: don't be a hero. Like in real life, no. This ain't no movie, homie. Don't be no hero.
he became a victim of the
But they could have made a movie about this guy, about his story, and it could be a lesson learned for kids to watch. He was good in football. You know, he had scouters. He was going to go to college. He ended up getting involved in a gang. He ended up getting killed. Like, that's a story in itself right there.
streets. Now, as these back and forths normally go, 51st were now looking for revenge on their recent L's, and there were many stabbings across the month. And early on in September, there was a case of 3 killings in 5 days in Camden. One of these being a man
3 killings in 5 days. These dudes is on some other shit.
From a completely different area all the way in East London, but unfortunately he was walking at the wrong place at the wrong time. So he was actually walking on Queen's Crescent Estate, which is a hotspot for 51st members, and was shot and killed in a drive-by, being mistaken for a 51st member. Just an hour
They was just on everything moving out there, bro. Actor Gang was just on everything moving. They really was spinning their block. No disrespect, bro. That was like, if you ever seen Minister Society, at the end, dude said shoot everything in sight. These niggas will shoot everything in sight.
before, another woman was stabbed to death just a few hundred
Bro, it's too late. You already showed her face. Like, what the fuck? What is that? What are you doing?
51st member. Just an hour before, another woman was stabbed to death just a few hundred yards from the situation. And 4 days later, a 71st member called Nuts was stabbed to death by a gang of 51st members with machetes. Outside one of the big
wait. Hold on. I gotta listen to it. I missed it. I gotta listen to it.
spot for 51st members and was shot and killed in a drive-by, being mistaken for a 51st member. Just an hour before, another woman was stabbed to death just a few hundred yards from the situation. And 4 days later, a 71st member called Nuts.
They stabbed that girl for literally no reason. Like, there's no, like, that was, damn, bro. That she just was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, bro. And then what happened to this dude? I'm sorry, chat. Hold on.
Member. Just an hour before, another woman was stabbed to death just a few hundred yards from the situation. And 4 days later, a 71st member called Nuts was stabbed to death by a gang
Okay, so he's 71st. He got caught slipping. Damn, so 51st got that revenge with him.
51st members with machetes outside one of the busiest areas in London, Camden Tube Station. And for the longest, a lot of people didn't even know all this stuff was going on until a 71st member called Suspect started jumping on the drill scene, calling
Suspect. You gotta save the best for last. You gotta save the best for last. Oh, my mama. Here he come. Oh, shit. The crowd's favorite, man. It's one of my favorites. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Shout out to Suspect, bro.
this stuff was going on until a 71st member called Suspect started jumping on the drill scene, calling himself the Camden Grim Reaper and releasing some of the
The Camden Grim Reaper. Nigga. Stop playing with this man.
most disrespectful tunes towards his ops. So much that police take down pretty much any song that the gang uploads, which really started to bring some attention to what's happening down there, and definitely got the attention of me, especially a song from Suspect called Dugout, which is probably one of the most disrespectful songs I've
Dugout. I gotta check these songs out, chat. I never heard these songs. Dugout, Congo. I'm gonna have to do my research and see if they still got this on YouTube. Gotta see what they talking about.
ever heard, and really makes you deep how tapped this whole beef is. In one of his lines, he says,
Same place we used to play runouts, is the same place his chest got dug out.
Ooh, see what I'm saying? This nigga suspect. Bro, you lucky I ain't got that song.
Same place I was telling you play out, is the same place I'm telling you come out.
which really makes you think, damn, these guys were close friends at one time, and now they're trying to kill each other. All stemming from a little small altercation that happened a couple years back. But anyway, guys, that's it for
Damn, it always be like that. People you went to school with, high school, y'all grew up together, and then y'all end up funking with each other, bro. Hold on.